I have been a Bethesda fan for as long as I can remember. Their games have this kind of magical quality that keeps me coming back, even though I've played them to death. But I'd be lying if I said that their recent track record didn't make me a little bit nervous. Still, I can't help but feel hopeful about what the future holds for Bethesda, especially with big titles like The Elder Scrolls 6, the rumored Oblivion Remaster, and eventually Fallout 5. There's a lot of potential for them to remind us why we enjoy their games in the first place. Sure, there have been many mistakes, many mistakes, but I believe there's room for them to bounce back in a big way. Let me explain. I'll start with The Elder Scrolls 6. We don't know much about it, okay? Frankly, I haven't even thought about it much recently, but even that tiny teaser from years ago was enough to send the fan base and myself into insanity mode. I hope that Bethesda takes their time to make this the definitive Elder Scrolls experience. If they get it right, okay? If they get it right, this could be the game that sets a new standard for open world RPGs. Do I think that this is going to be the case? Oh, absolutely not. My logical brain says that it's over. Pack up your ship. Go home, dude. The Bethesda ship has sailed, and the champagne bottle did not crack on the hull during liftoff. But my heart is telling me to keep the hope alive. The Oblivion Remaster. One thing that's keeping me hopeful is the Oblivion Remaster. I don't think it's going to be the best thing ever, but I do think it might be some sort of a catalyst for Bethesda. Rumors about this have had me cautiously optimistic. On one hand, it's like Oblivion is such a beloved classic, and I think it deserves to be introduced to a new generation of people. On the other hand, remasters can be a hit or miss, depending on how much effort is put into them. I am kind of on the team of the firm belief that if the rumor's true, then it's just going to be buggy Oblivion with a new coat of paint. Let's just be honest with ourselves. With something like Sky Oblivion on the way, there's no way I'm playing an official remaster more than the fan-made remake. I am, however, still hopeful that this kind of starts a new fire under Bethesda that tells them that people still crave Elder Scrolls content. The biggest thing that keeps me far away from hope is that I feel like Bethesda doesn't listen to their fans. I mean, like, on the Steam reviews for Starfield, there were literally developers replying back to some of the comments, pretty much saying, "You're wrong, and our game is fun." Okay, it's much longer than that, but you can boil it down to that. It's kind of hard to have hope in a team that's willing to go so far as to tell its customers that they're wrong, and that running around on an empty moon is a fun experience because, the astronauts had a fun time on the moon. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun, and I fear that Bethesda has completely lost its way in terms of how a game is supposed to make you feel. Something else that makes me optimistic, though, is the gaming industry itself. I feel like competition is fierce, dude. Fierce. Competition is booming, man. I feel like with studios like Larian, they raised the bar with Baldur's Gate 3. Bethesda can't really afford to rest on their bottoms anymore, and that might be exactly what they need. If they feel the pressure to innovate and deliver, it could result in some of their best work yet. I think back to, the jump from Elder Scrolls Morrowind to Oblivion and how that defined that whole genre at the time. And I can't help but feel hopeful that they're gearing up to do that again. It does feel like the gaming industry is healing, though, going back to the industry topic. I mean, we're seeing more and more now that slop titles like Concord are just being completely shunned by gamers. It is truly something to behold and observe, and I could not be more proud of the community for this. I'm so happy that people who consume video games as their main source of entertainment are finally putting their foot down. And just as a side note, I love it when these woke studios are like, "Just don't play our games then." And gamers are like, "Okay." And then the game tanks and eventually shuts down. It's poetry, to be honest with you. That's a whole different topic, though. Back on topic. I remember booting up Oblivion for the first time and was blown away by the jump that this game made from other games that I had played. I mean, it was my first whoa moment that a game ever gave me. You don't really see jumps like that anymore. People don't really care about graphics all that much. Take Vampire Survivors, for example. That game looks like it came out of an arcade from the 90s, but it is very, very fun and addicting. There's a reason that I and so many other people have hundreds of hours in Vampire Survivors. Bethesda needs to capture that same essence. Like, sure, Starfield's beautiful. Some of the other scenes you find in that game are breathtaking, but it's not going to make me sink another second into that game because Looks can only get you so far. You have to have a personality too. This goes for games, dating, job interviews, making friends, pretty much anything. I'm really hoping that they drop the whole aesthetic thing, and I really hope that they switch over to a more personality-driven experience. Of course, I know there's always a chance that Bethesda might drop the ball, duh, but for some reason I just can't shake this feeling that they're due for a win. They've taken a lot of shit over the years, and I would like to think that they're using the feedback to fuel their comeback. I'm really hoping that Bethesda doesn't adopt this kind of toxic positivity mindset, because the industry loves a redemption story. People love redemption stories, and I think that Bethesda is in the perfect position to deliver one. It's not just about making good games anymore. I mean, for Bethesda, it's about proving that they still deserve to be one of the biggest names in the business. I truly believe, and I know I talk a lot of shit about them, but I truly believe that Bethesda is about to capture lightning in a bottle. I just have that feeling. I have a feeling that somehow by returning to the Elder Scrolls roots with the Oblivion Remaster, I think they're going to come out of left field with something that's going to shock everyone. I don't give a shit. I don't even care if they decide to go off the beaten path, like with the next Elder Scrolls game. I just want a good game. I want a good game that feels like Elder Scrolls. We are in desperate need right now for another Bethesda classic at this point in time. But looking ahead and kind of looking back as well, I think what has excited me the most about Bethesda and what's made me feel hopeful is the unknown. Bethesda has always been full of surprises, whether it's a new awful IP like Starfield or unexpected announcements like reboots. I like to imagine that they have a few tricks up their sleeve that we're not even thinking about yet. It's kind of that unpredictability that makes following their journey a little bit exciting. I think that's why a lot of the fans stick around and still support the Bethesda team. I know I do. I think there's a level of mystery that no other studio besides maybe Rockstar is able to portray to their fans. It's like trying to peek through the keyhole to see what they're working on next. Only the room that you're trying to see through is extremely dark. At the end of the day, I'm hopeful because I want to be. Bethesda's games have shaped so many of my favorite memories, and I want them to keep doing that for years to come. It's really hard being a Bethesda fan at the moment, you know? I mean, just go look at some of the comments in my previous videos. It's hard out here, bro. If you're like me, you really haven't enjoyed much of their recent releases. I'm being dead-ass serious when I say that the last game I truly felt good about was Skyrim. Sure, I played Fallout 4 and I enjoyed it a little bit, but like that 50 to 100 hour of playtime stretch in Fallout 4, I was just like, that's it. Then the straw that broke the camel's back for me was Starfield. There was zero spark in that game. It didn't make me feel anything positive at all. I mean, I'll kind of revert on that note. It made me feel positively that Bethesda is 2 steps away from the gutter. It almost feels like this is their big last chance moment, and I'm not talking about their last chance to make games. I'm talking about their last chance to make a name for themselves that stands the test of time for future generations. I think that if the next 5 Bethesda games were to flop, they would still continue to make games. We see this cycle with a lot of studios nowadays. They make slop after slop after slop, and they really haven't been punished for it until recently. Anyway, I just want to end this video with another reinforcement that yes, I am still hopeful. Some part of me really feels like they're due a win and that they're going to take the high ground and secure that win. I really hope they do. I personally hope that the first step in Bethesda making a 360 is the Oblivion remaster. Even though I don't think they'll go all out for this project, I do think it'll be cool to see still. I'm hoping that this is kind of the catalyst that shoots them to the top of the Steam charts once we hear more about the Elder Scrolls 6 release. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. See ya.